Hello and welcome to the All Rookie Podcast. Today is January 17th, 2024, and I'm your host, William Harris, aka William is Bill. Great to be back with you today to talk about the top 20 NBA rookies in the G League. Once again, previous episode, we did the top 20 rookies from 20 to 11. Today, we're doing the top 10, 1 through 10. So I can't wait to get it started. The last episode was fun, had a lot of feedback on it. And let's get right into the top 10. But if you missed it, let's do a recap of the 20 to 11 real quick for you guys before we get into the top 10. Noah Clowney, Jordan Walsh, Terquavion Smith, Jalen Wilson, Ben Shepherd, Amari Bailey, Keontae Johnson, Gigi Jackson, Chris Murray, and Taylor Hendricks was our top 20 from 20 to 11. And now we're going to get right into it. Like it's nothing to it with the top 10. But first, I do want to say, as far as the rookies go in the G League, they are pretty dominant. 4 out of the top 5 scoring leaders in the G League are rookies. That's rare. So that shows you that they're having no issue at all with scoring and putting the ball in the hoop. And the top rebounder in all of the G League is a rookie as well. And for you that don't know, some people may be unfamiliar with the G League. The G League is not just rookies. It's not just second-year players. There's some veterans. Elfrid Payton is like 35 years old in the G League. So it's grown men. It's a competitive professional league. And 4 out of the 5 rookies are in the top leaders in points. And there's a rookie in the leading category as far as rebounds. And he wasn't even drafted. So the rookies are doing major things. So let's get straight to it like it's nothing to it with the top 20. And now we're in the top 10. So I kind of have a tie between 10A and 10B. I had to squeeze them both in there. I told you, it's so many rookies playing well. I got to get them all in here, at least give them a shout out, some recognition. But 10B, don't call me a cheater for that, is Colby Jones for the Sacramento Kings. In the G League, he's averaging 18 points, 7.5 boards, 4 rebounds, 2 assists, and half of a steal per game. Those 18 points just recently dropped off because of his last game. He had 15 or so because he was averaging 21 points per game. So that really had him up in the 10 category. But like I said, no rookie has played more than 9 games in the G League that I've seen. And so the stats fluctuate. Colby Jones is a 34 pick in the draft. He's played 15 games in the NBA. And they've played like 35 to 40 games right now. So he's played 15 games. His career high in the NBA has been 10 points. But, in those 15 games, only 6 of those games he's played in over 10 minutes. So he really hasn't truly had a shot to be productive in the NBA, but he's still shown well. De'Aaron Fox is there. So as long as he's there, Colby Jones is not going to play. And De'Aaron Fox did miss a week or so, but they still have Davion Mitchell and a couple of other guards that are more veteran laced. And the Kings are a winning team right now. So they don't really just want to throw in a rookie point guard right now. So they're letting Colby Jones develop in the G League. He's playing well. He had a 32-point game with 7 rebounds, 8 assists, and 5 steals all in one game. That's a tremendous game. So that lets you know I think he's ready for the spotlight. If this team didn't have as high hopes, I think Colby Jones would be getting more minutes. But he's still in a great spot right now, learning for the Kings. Colby Jones, 10B. 10A, Leonard Miller for the Minnesota Timberwolves. Fell to the 33rd pick in the draft. For some reason, I had him as a lottery pick. He's averaging 21.5 points, 8 boards, and 1 steal per game for Minnesota. And once again, it's about opportunity. Their front court is loaded. They got Karl-Anthony Towns, Rudy Gobert, Jaden McDaniels. So it's hard for Leonard Miller. They have Kyle Anderson, I think is his name. But it's hard for Leonard Miller to get minutes right now. The Timberwolves are also a competitive team in the West, top 5 team in the West. So he is steadily growing and developing in the G League as well. He does have some things to polish, so it doesn't hurt him to play in the G League right now. But Leonard Miller is an ideal candidate to be a breakout player. As we've seen, like Gigi Jackson recently, he's finally getting an opportunity. Last episode, I talked about GG Jackson. That opportunity was coming. From then to now, it's been a matter of like 2 or 3 days. GG Jackson has taken that and ran with it. And I think Leonard Miller would be in the same boat if he had an opportunity. He's played 5 games in the NBA. His career high is 7, but he's still barely played any minutes in the NBA. He's truly just developing in the G League. Next, at number 9, we have Hunter Tyson for the Denver Nuggets. He was a 37 pick in the draft. This is a guy who dominated in the summer league. Rose tremendously into the draft, coming into the draft from his offseason workouts, his shooting, really impressed people. And like I said, in the summer league, really turned it out. Preseason played well. But then when the season started, no minutes, no games. He played 8 games with no more than 4 minutes in any game. And that is a little bit surprising because they had a power forward get hurt for the year before the season started. So I thought that would be some minutes for Hunter Tyson. The Nuggets are one of the best teams in the league. Obviously, we're defending champions. There are going to be some games where they're resting, where they're blowing out people. There should be opportunity for Hunter Tyson, but there just has not came to fruition yet. If you are not keeping up with the G League, you would think, with all that being said, Hunter Tyson, I thought he was good. He must suck. No, he's our number 9 ranked player right now as far as G League production. He's averaging 23 points, 8.5 boards, and 2 steals per game. So those flashes that we saw in the offseason are still there. 23 points, 8 rebounds. That's great production. So nothing dropped off. His game has not crumbled under pressure. He's just waiting on that opportunity. And it's tough with the Nuggets, but that's the boat that we're in right now. Next, number 8, a teammate of Hunter Tyson, who's also killing it in the G League with him, is Jalen Pickett. Jalen Pickett was a 32nd pick in the draft. I actually had this guy going late second or not drafted at all because he's like 6'2", and when you're a 6'2" point guard, 6'2" point guard, it's tough to make it in the NBA. But Jalen Pickett is flourishing in the G League. He's averaging 21 points, 5.5 boards, 9 assists with 1.5 steals. He was the 32nd pick in the draft, like I said. For the Nuggets, his career high is 8 points, and that was when Jamal Murray was injured. He missed about a month. But even with that happening, he was still very limited in action. He only played 15 games so far. Only 2 of those games were in double-digit minutes. So, they have Reggie Jackson as their backup point guard. Clearly, Jalen Pickett's future is much brighter, but as of now, Jalen Pickett is finding it hard to get minutes out there, but not for lack of talent because he's killing it in the G League, and he's one of the bright spots and big surprises for me. So Jalen Pickett, keep an eye out on him. Probably next year, if Reggie Jackson's gone, Jalen Pickett will have this backup role, and he will be the best backup Jamal Murray has ever had. Up next, another huge surprise, Ricky Council, undrafted guard from the Philadelphia 76ers. I had him drafted in my mock. Really talented player, had him late second. He went undrafted, but he's been the 7th best player in the G League so far. He's averaging 25 points per game, 6 boards, 2 assists, 1 steal per game. That is incredible production from an undrafted rookie guard. That's crazy. I mean, he's stuck, unfortunately, on a team that has championship projections, hopes. So there's no room for him, a rookie, to be getting minutes on this Philadelphia 76ers team, really, no matter how good he is, apparently, because, he's definitely one of the top 7 players in the G League, and he's on their squad. James Harden is gone, but they have a lot of veterans in Philadelphia. So for the Sixers, he's only played 1 game, and he's played 6 minutes, so didn't have time to do much of anything. But if there's an injury, especially to Tyrese Maxey, maybe for a week or so, I would love to see them get Ricky Council in there because he has truly earned his spot. He is dominating in the G League. So that's a name you may have never heard before because, like I said, he was undrafted. A couple of these guys, they are not big names, that we mentioned so far. Kobe Jones, Hunter Tyson, Jalen Pickett, Ricky Council. These were not lottery picks. These were all second or undrafted players That's why this show is so important, in my opinion, to get these names out here. So when you hear from them in a month or two or next year, you're like, oh, I heard that name. I remember him. So Ricky Council, great young guard. And it sucks also that in the draft, teams are losing draft picks and they're not being replaced. So every year it's supposed to be 60 picks. The last 2 years, there's been 58, I believe. Maybe one year was 57. So that's taking spots from players that should have been drafted, and now they're not being drafted. They're just going straight undrafted. So it's much harder journey, believe it or not. If you're the 59th, 60th pick in the draft, you're still a draft pick. It's much harder for those guys that are undrafted to get playing time. They're looked at as afterthoughts. But if you're drafted, you're looked at with a little bit more of a glimmer in your eye. So I'm very proud of Ricky Council. That cannot be a name that is forgotten. Next up, now let's get into the lottery, guys. We got a few coming up. Jarace Walker for the Indiana Pacers, averaging almost 24.5 points per game, 4.5 boards, 4 assists, 1.5 steal, and 1 block per game. Jarace Walker was the 8th pick in the draft, very highly coveted. It just recently came out that the Pacers are in talks to try to get Pascal Siakam, but what they mentioned was there's one guy off the table, and that's Jarace Walker. So they clearly see a bright future for him. They do not want to trade him, and he's showing you why in the G League. You know, he finally got some real minutes in the NBA on January 15th, and he's scored 8 points, 4 boards, 4 assists, 4 blocks, 4 steals, excuse me, and 2 blocks. And, you know, that's incredible production in limited minutes in the real NBA, you know. But, you know, other than that, he's only had 2 games over 20 minutes. So those minutes could ramp up. You know, if Jalen Smith gets traded, Isaiah Jackson could get traded. Any number of players could get traded to open up space for Jarace Walker. And, of course, if Siakam comes in. But they clearly have Jarace Walker in there playing for the future. He's a name to look out for, just like GG Jackson was. Like I said last episode, the trade deadline may open up some opportunities for these guys. And even if it doesn't, just when you hear the teams talk about how this guy is untradeable or he's not on the table to be traded, that means they really see a future for them. They like what they're seeing in practice behind closed doors. They see a role for them in the future. And Jarace Walker, even though he hasn't hardly done anything yet in the NBA, he's got the guys that matter. He's in their good grace, and rightfully so. He's been playing very well. Up next, Cam Whitmore. Cam Whitmore, sneaky Cam Whitmore. You know, in my stats on let me tell you the site I'm looking on, Basketball Real GM. He is not even listed as far as rookies in the G League. So I almost missed him on my list. I'm like, hold up, Cam Whitmore is killing it right now in the NBA, in the actual NBA. But there was a time he wasn't playing. He was in the G League. And, you know, in the G League, he was averaging 26 points, 7 boards, 3 assists, 2 steals, and 1 block per game. That's domination. He fell to the 20th pick in the draft. That was a travesty. There was no reason for that. Everyone had him as a top 10 pick. I was lower than him on most. You know, a lot of people had him 4th or 5th. I had him like 7th or 8th. But to fall to 20 was ridiculous. A lot of teams are kicking themselves for passing on him because what he showed in the G League, he translated right into the NBA, and he's playing very, very well in the NBA right now. While they have numerous injuries, Tari Eason is out. He's passed up. My guy, I can't even think of his name right now, but that tells you everything you need to know. Jae'Sean Tate, nicks and necks here and there are allowing Cam Whitmore to show what he can do. He's dunking on everybody, dunking with aggression, very athletic. And on top of that, the most important thing, we knew the athleticism in the body, the NBA body was ready, but he's shooting 39% from 3. That is a big surprise for me in the G League. That is not his game. So he's made a huge improvement from college to the NBA. I believe him falling in the draft has got him more dedicated. In the second half of the season for Cam Whitmore, it's just stock on the rise. And most importantly, he had a 42-point game in the G League as well. So he's beyond the G League. He should not be back in the G League. Get this man NBA minutes from now on. Cam Whitmore, number 5. Number 4, and I'll tell you, this is tight. It's a lot of guys with great stats, and I'm having to put them 1 through 5. Some of these are 1A, 2B, 3B, 4B. So you can give or take 5 or 4 right now. But I gave number 4 to Kobe Buffkin, guard from the Atlanta Hawks. I'm loving how he's playing, especially after coming back from injury. He only played 2 games early on for the Hawks and injured his hand. I believe he broke his thumb or broke his wrist or something. But he's back now and balling in the G League. He's had a 34-point game. He had a streak of 5 out of 6 games over 25 points. So he came right back from that injury, looking better than ever. In the G League, Kobe Buffkin is averaging 24 points, 5 boards, 6 assists, 1.5 steals, and 1 block per game. Now, I said 24 points per game. It was 26 points per game if I would have did this podcast yesterday. I tell you, these stats fluctuate. So sometimes my rankings like, I'm about to do the pod. I gotta move somebody up and down. But in the general gist of things, that's a great all-around game. And this is a guy as well. I mentioned it with Jarace Walker. The Hawks are in the trade market, thinking of getting rid of DeJounte Murray, maybe DeAndre Hunter. What they did say, though, is Kobe Buffkin is off the table. He's a guy they see in their future, and they do not want to trade, so they clearly have plans for him. And that's what I saw. Coming into the draft, I had Kobe Buffkin around, I think he was my 6th or 7th ranked player in the draft. And my comparison to him are Tyrese Maxey. So if he just needed an opportunity, as long as DeJounte Murray's there, he's not getting that opportunity. If he's gone, if Trey is gone or injured, Kobe Buffkin is just stock up, up, up. So look out for him, rise on the Atlanta Hawks. I love his game. I can't wait to see him get more opportunities. Once again, trade deadline, important for Kobe Buffkin. Number 3, a name you would not expect. The next 3 names are names you probably wouldn't expect, but this young fella was undrafted, and he's with the Chicago Bulls. Adama Sanogo, the big man, went undrafted. Unbelievably. I mean, he was a great rebounder in college. He's just slightly undersized. I think he's 6'9". I think he's 6'9". Could be 6'8". And if he was 7 foot, he would have been drafted, I feel. But he is averaging, Adamo Sanogo is averaging 26.5 points per game, 12 boards, half a steal per game, and 1.6 blocks per game. It was 2 blocks per game until the last game. But 26 and 12 as a rookie, outrageous. And as I told you earlier, there's a rookie leading the G League in rebounds. It is Adama Sanogo. In the NBA for the Bulls, he's only played 3 games so far, which is hardly any at all. Like, we're not in game 10, game 15. Like I said, we're close to game 40 right now. He's only played 3 games, and Vucevic has been hurt. I don't know what the holdup is, but he's had a career high for the Bulls of 8 points. But if you put Adama Sanogo in the game, he's going to be a rebounding machine. It's interesting to see what this Bulls team is going to do. Are they still going to try to compete? Are they going to try to develop their young players? Because they have Julian Phillips as well, playing amazing in the G League, just hasn't played a ton of games in the G League. Adama Sanogo, undrafted, playing amazing. So the Bulls got 2 great rookies in this year's draft class, and they only had an early 2nd round pick. That is great drafting. Now we just have to see it translate to the NBA. And I'm wondering if I should touch on this Bulls topic. A lot of people are up in arms about how the Bulls fans booed Jerry Krause, even though he passed away. They showed his wife on the Jumbotron. If you're a Bulls fan, you know why Jerry Krause was booed. Like, for the people that don't understand, it's funny, but it was truly devastating that his wife was on the screen and saw that, because her husband has passed away. That's her husband to her. But to Bulls fans, he's the guy that broke up the dynasty, being cheap and being egomaniacal. So anyway, I had to touch on that. But the Bulls are in a great spot right now with these 2 young rookies. And Adama Sanogo is the number 3rd ranked rookie in the G League so far. Let's get him in the NBA. Number 2, one of my favorite prospects in the whole draft of this year, if not my favorite, Emoni Bates. Emoni Bates is averaging 27.5 points per game, 1 steal per game, 0.5 blocks per game. he is playing incredible, shooting it lights out, playing like we wanted him to in college. He showed flashes, and he played at a small school in his second year in college. So a lot of those scoring outputs were frowned upon, like, oh, well, he's at a small school, he's got super talent. Of course he's gonna do that. That doesn't impress me. So that's why he fell to the 49th pick in the draft, which was ridiculous. But Imani Bates is lightening up, showing everybody what I've seen the whole time. That's why I had him around pick 15 in this draft, maybe the 15th best player in this draft. And somehow he fell to 49. It makes no sense. He's played 10 games in the NBA, only 2 games with double-digit minutes, though. And his career high is 9 in the NBA. That was early in the season. Right now, he's struggling to get minutes. I mean, I think the Cavs should play him. He just like GG Jackson type of situation. Only thing with Imani Bates is he's really skinny, but the game is there. The offensive game is there. You may say the defense needs to improve, but get this man on the court. He's ready to play right now. He had a 38-point game in the G League with 6 rebounds, and to get those 38 points, he had 8 3-pointers. So that's what the NBA is about: length, shooting. He's got it all. Being able to create your own shot, create for others. You want the assist maybe to be there, but I mean, he's not perfect. He's not Kevin Durant. But this is a guy I compare to Brandon Ingram. So if he continues to develop with the Cavs, they can have a star in their hands. It's just a matter of if they want to get him in the game this year or next year. We all know the Cavs are not going anywhere. They're trying, but get that man on the court. Especially with Evan Mobley is out right now. So that's just an open spot for Imani Bates. Yeah, he's not a 4. Exactly. He's more like a small forward. But still, there's minutes to be had. Get the young fella out there. He was their only draft pick, 49th pick in the draft, and they hit a home run with the second leading scorer of all players in the G League, Imani Bates. Now, number 1, dun, 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 you're like, who is this? Which lottery pick am I going to hear from? Which top name has he not said yet? Well, that name is Jordan Miller, a name you may have never heard before today. Jordan Miller, super talented guard from Miami. He was on a team with Isaiah Wong. That Isaiah Wong got all the publicity from Miami. But when I watched the film, I saw Isaiah Wong's film and Jordan Miller's film. And Jordan Miller looked way better than Isaiah Wong. And that is still happening to this day. Isaiah Wong is, he's playing solid in the G League. But Jordan Miller, the number 1 scoring player in the entire G League with almost 29 points per game. That's insane. 8 rebounds, 2 assists, and 1 steal per game. Let me say that line again. Jordan Miller is averaging 29, 8, 2 assists, and 1 steal per game. And he was the 48th pick in the draft. There are guys in here that were in the lottery that couldn't dream about averaging 29 points per game in any league. So, Jordan Miller, he's just unfortunately on the wrong team. He's on the Clippers with 4 superstar players. Say what you want about Russ Westbrook, but Jordan Miller's not getting in the game over Russell Westbrook. Jordan Miller's a shooting guard, but still, there is no minutes for Jordan Miller on this rookie team. He's played 4 games in the real NBA. The most minutes he's played is 4. So there is no shot. If he was on a rebuilding team like the Wizards, the Pistons, any team like that, oh my God, look out for Jordan Miller. But he's on the Clippers. So fortunately for him, though, his game is developing tremendously. He had this in him. There's another guy, Amari Moore, maybe I can't remember his name right now. Just as talented, but he hasn't put it together yet in the G League like Jordan Miller has. But this is it may not work out for this year, but his game will, trust me, be better for next year. I don't remember his contract right now, but a lot of guys drafted this late are on a 2-way or 1-year contract. So sometimes they end up going to another team the next year. They're having Sharif Cooper. He was with the Hawks, and then he went to the Cavs. And it's like, what? They drafted him. But when you're drafted late, your contracts are not 3 and 4 years. So I'm very interested to see what Jordan Miller is going to do the end of the year. If they start resting guys, if Kawhi or somebody gets hurt, I don't think it's high hopes. It's a small chance Jordan Miller gets some burn. But next year is going to be when it's truly promising for Jordan Miller from Miami with the Clippers as of now. But he's your number one rookie in the G League. So let's go over 10 to 1 one more time real quick before we get out of here. 10B was Kobe Jones. 10A, Leonard Miller. Number 9, Hunter Tyson. Number 8, Jalen Pickett. 7, Ricky Council. 6, Jarace Walker. 5, Cam Whitmore. 4, Kobe Buffkin. 3, Adamo Sanogo. 2, Imani Bates. 1, Jordan Miller. So that recaps your top 20 G League rookies. Thank you all so much for following me, watching the show, subscribing, liking, all that good stuff. You keep me going. It's been fun to bring this topic up and redo a little bit more research on the guys in the G League because everyone wants to focus on the NBA, but I want to focus on the rookies in general, and they are killing it. And if I didn't mention the top 5 rookie scoring leaders, I told you it's 4 out of 5 are rookies. Jordan Miller, 29. Imani Bates, 27. Adamo Sanogo, 26. And Ricky Council with 25. And for assists, he's not top 5, but number 6 was Jalen Pickett. Rebounds, leader of all players in the G League, Adama Sanogo at 12. So the rookies are killing it. Can't wait to see what happens the rest of the season. I'll be back with an update on the rookies in the NBA coming soon. Until next time, I'm out of here. Peace.